I don't know if Margarida needs an introduction here. I think probably not, because she's so energetic and important to this dossier. I have to think that she knows all of you by now already. She's going to talk to us about the transition from ISA to ISA², which, just out of curiosity, how many of you have seen The Wizard of Oz? You know this movie? Remember when they go from black and white to color? That's a little what we're talking about here. Margarida, the floor is yours.
Thanks very much, Paul. So hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I have this difficult task of linking twice. First, linking the political and inspiring messages of our leaders to the work that we have done and that we will have to do. And secondly, to link the examples of this morning that we have seen, the cases that we have heard, so the current situation with the future situation and where we want to go. I must say that hearing Mr. Zorrinho, Vice President ANSIP, Mr. Boni, Commissioner Oettinger, today I feel a little bit stressed with all the expectations that are put on us for the execution and the performance and the results that are expected from the new program. So I really hope that together with the member states that are collaborating with us, we will manage to fulfill your expectations in this program. And thank you very much for the confidence that you give us. So, with this, I suppose that somewhere it should be this. No, next. Yes, the right digital instrument. So these are all the political messages that we have heard today. And we have heard about digital single market, reduce administrative burden, the public sector modernization, how to tackle complex challenges, transparency, fighting corruption, single access point, the implementation of EU policies, seamless end-to-end digital public services, Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, high-performance computing, and in all this, the word interoperability. So I'm very glad, I'm very happy to see that it is recognized today that interoperability is a must if we want to achieve all of this. Although interoperability is now recognized at all levels, the importance of interoperability, it is nothing new. So, for the majority of us, perhaps in this room. So we have been working and fighting for interoperability for a long time, and there have been programs on interoperability at European level since 1995. A little bit 2 years after I entered the Commission, so it's been a long, long time. And we have succeeded, have had some successes, as I will show. So the last program is the interoperability solutions for administrations that lasted until 31st of December 2015, and we are now starting the ISA², as you have heard throughout the day. So what I will speak about is from where we are and where we go. So interoperability solutions for public administrations, we have heard this morning, cross-border, cross-sector interaction solutions, sharing and reuse, and we have heard the example of our French colleague where they are reusing the solutions, building on what exists. We have heard about solutions, generic tools, common services, and we have heard about interoperability supporting community policies. The program during these 5 years, since 2010, has developed, promoted and maintain common frameworks, and the European interoperability framework is the most known one, and we have followed and supported the member states in transposing it in the national interoperability frameworks. And we will have a presentation today on the revision of the EIF. We have started working on the European interoperability reference architecture, and we have started working in a cartography. These two tools have been explicitly mentioned in the new legal basis as a condition for us to base our work in the next years. We have built and operate solutions, interoperable solutions. We have heard this morning my colleague Natalia speak to you about interest tax, and there has a lot of different examples. We have also heard Serge speaking about the machine translation. So the machine translation service was something that was built under the ISA program and then is now being operated in the Connecting Europe facility, a good example of how things are put together. The European Citizens Initiative, essential, a good instrument to build this open government that we are looking for, was also developed under the support of the ISA program. And perhaps the oldest one, the oldest example that many of you know is TESTA, the TESTA network, a security in private network supporting security solutions. And nowadays it has been the solutions and the systems that are supported on TESTA network are very important today when we are managing the facing and trying to overcome the refugees crisis, which is very important. And these underlying these systems, it's the TESTA network. By the way, I think I have heard quite often I don't remember his name, but he's the director of Europol, speaking of the importance of exchanging information between member states in handling this kind of situation. And we will not succeed if we don't exchange information. We will not succeed if we don't work together. We have heard Mr. Tashiro this morning speaking about the semantic interoperability and giving an extraordinary example of the importance of the semantic interoperability. And we have heard our colleague from Italy, Georgia, speaking about reuse of the core vocabularies in Italy. And I love that picture, so whenever I have the occasion, I put that picture. Now that should clear up a few things around here, and I think it's extraordinary. It really says what it means. So that's where we are. So we have done a lot of things, but now we must go ahead and we must go further, and we must build on our experience to perform, to execute the new program. Mr. Zorin this morning has invited us to be ambitious and bold in executing this program and working towards interoperability in Europe. And he said that interoperability is at the heart of the European politics. So I think this is a strong message, and I think this is behind the work that has been done by the European Parliament and by the Council in tuning and improving the proposal of the Commission. So the new program, the full title is there. So it's the Program on Interoperability Solutions and Common Frameworks for European Public Administrations, Business and Citizens, and as a means for modernizing the public sector. It's important to have the full name, because in the name there is a lot of information. There is business and citizens, and there's modernization of the public sector. This is a program that amounts to 131 million euros from 2016 to 2020, proposals from member states and from Commission service, and executed by the European Commission, supported by the ISA committee. The objectives, they are the same from the ISA program with some nuance. The same in ISA program, implement the European Interoperability Framework, monitor the European Interoperability Framework implementation, identify, create, and operate interoperability solutions to support EU policies, facilitate reuse of interoperability solutions, develop interoperability cross-border and cross-sector. So what is new? What is new is the holistic approach. Without this holistic approach that we must develop, maintain, and promote, we will still continue building these solutions that will be built, and we'll have one here, one there. There was someone this morning that mentioned these are isolated solutions, and we won't have this global picture of what exists. And the program must aim the administrations, yes, all levels of the administrations, and business and citizens. And there I pass to the next slide. The next slide represents the things that we were most focused during the discussions in the interinstitutional procedure. The focus was on this. The holistic approach, eliminate fragmentation of the interoperability landscape in Europe, achieve a common understanding and global picture of interoperability. The scope, let's go to business and citizens because they are our stakeholders. It's for them that we work. So we must answer their needs, and whatever you do, whatever we do will be judged according to the benefits that it will bring to them. So this message was constantly repeated, and I think it entered well in my head, and I hope it entered well in all your heads. The modernized public administration cannot be seen at one single level. It must go through all the levels of public administrations, from the federal until the local. It's no point at all to modernize and achieve interoperability at the federal level if the local level, which is the ones where our users are, our business and citizens are at the local level. So those departing points to achieve the modernization are essential in what we want to do. And then links with other EU initiatives. We must work together. We must build on the different mechanisms and the instruments. The ISA² program has not billions, as you can see. We don't have billions as other programs, and we don't need it, because we want to build exactly on other instruments. We want to build these links. We must use our forces. We must join our forces and build on using other leveraging instruments like the European Structural Investment Funds, the Horizon 2020, and the Connecting Europe facility. The two other points that were rather much focused during the discussions are measure impact. What we do must have impact, and we must choose our priorities according to the impact that we want to have. And this was also mentioned here this morning. Let us choose the good priorities so that we can achieve the important results. Also to build confidence. When you build something with impact is low, it's quite different when you build something perhaps less important, but the impact is much greater and touches much number of people. Of course, it gives confidence to the future. So we have to develop mechanisms to measure this impact. It's not easy, so we will also ask for the help of our colleagues that work in this area, like GRC, to try to achieve these good impact indicators. And engage stakeholders. Again, this morning was also mentioned, the communication, the engagement of the stakeholders is essential. We must have everyone on board. Interoperability and building solutions, building digital public services, something that can, disturbs our habits. We must change our way of doing things. So it is not easy. I'm a very traditional person. I'm used to things. And I think, for example, all mothers are very traditional because they must be organized. And so they follow, always the same. It's much easier if you have an organization. When we introduce a digital service, you must change. And so we must put people on board, work with them so they see, yes, you'll have to change a little bit, but at the end, you will gain. So engage stakeholders, work in them. So for the rest of the afternoon, we will look deep into some aspects. Because, as it was said here this morning also, I think it was my Portuguese colleague, I don't have the answers. I certainly don't have the answers. And so I hope with the discussions in the afternoon, it will be a starting point to have some ideas, some orientations that we'll be able to develop afterwards. So this afternoon, we will focus our attention on the holistic approach, and we will have some presentations about on this from colleagues from GRC, from colleagues from the Netherlands, from colleagues from the ISA², from Italy, from Denmark, from Belgium, and from my team also. This is the same also, holistic approach, the global picture. And then we'll also speak about how to engage citizens, and we'll have an interesting presentation from the UK on user research, and we have an also very interesting example, in my point of view, from Smart Cities from Italy. And for the local and regional administrations, we'll have a presentation from Spain on a geospatial common service used by different levels of administration, very useful. And also the same presentation that I mentioned from the Belgian Flemish region, which is also an example of application at the regional level. And with this, I finish and I gain 3 minutes.